The layout of La Sonia dates from the 12th century, but the grand houses which line the main street were built in the 15th and 16th centuries. Some people do find that La Sonia is a bit of a one-horse town, but as the next day's journey will bring you into the world-renowned city of Pamplona, a quiet night's rest in La Sonia is maybe a good idea. It's an amazing experience to visit the Fiesta, but maybe not in conjunction with walking the Camino. However, if you do visit the Fiesta, make sure you allow yourself a couple of days to enjoy the music, the spectacle, the fireworks, and the incredible party spirit. Although Pamplona is an interesting and vibrant city, many pilgrims carry on for a further 5 kilometers and stay the night at Cisa Menor. In medieval times, Cisa Menor played host to the Order of the Knights of St. John of Jerusalem, and in the 13th century the order built a monastery and pilgrims' hostel, the remains of which have been converted into an albergue. From Cisa Menor, the Camino starts to leave the green and lush foothills of the Pyrenees. Although 8 kilometers out of Cisa Menor, we have the 750-meter peak of the Alto del Perdón still to climb. Surrounding Cisa Menor was the scene of a vast battle in the 8th century. Over 100,000 Moors faced Charlemont's Christian forces, which numbered over 134,000. This was part of Charlemont's third attempt to rescue the tomb of St. James from the Muslim occupation. The Christian Frankish army won the battle, and Igolando, the leader of the Muslim army, was killed. From Cisa Menor, it is a 19-kilometer walk to Puente la Reina. As you approach the peak of the Alto del Perdón, the electric turbine windmills seem vast in size. There are some fantastic views from the summit of the Camino you have just walked and the route that lies ahead of you. The metal sculpture of medieval pilgrims heading towards Santiago is an irresistible photo opportunity. The inscription on the sculpture translates as, "Where the way of the wind crosses the way of the stars." At Puente la Reina, your final destination for today's walk, the growth of the Camino has meant there are now 6 albergues where there used to only be 2. Competition has brought innovation, and the albergue at the far end of town offers a minibus luggage service for free if you book with them for that night. Quite a few pilgrims take advantage of this offer and thus avoid carrying their rucksack for the last 11 kilometres of today's walk. The luggage transportation service has spread back along the Camino from Galicia, and all across the Camino you can now see taxi firms offering such a service. Normally the cost is around €3. Opinions differ widely as to the use of these services. They are certainly safe and efficient and make the Camino easier. But many would argue that you're meant to be carrying all your worldly goods in your back, and that sending your bag ahead means more planning and less spontaneity. Some pilgrims pack too much, and some pilgrims travel lightly. Some even occasionally walk barefoot in certain circumstances. It is recommended that you do not carry more than 10 kilos, but there can be a danger of taking this minimalist approach too far. Some pilgrims discard possessions bit by bit as they progress along the Camino, trying to decide what they really need for their journey. Sometimes it is hard to decide. You can see from the sign on the summit that you have 550 kilometers still to go before you reach Santiago. This means that another 30 or so days of walking are ahead of you. All along the Camino you will find signs to reassure you that you are on the correct path. Some of them are simple yellow arrows painted on walls, trees, signs and pavements, all of them pointing towards the road to Santiago. The yellow arrows were the brainchild of Don Elias, the parish priest in O Sobrero, who started painting them in 1984. There is a steep descent down from the summit, and you soon discover that the downward sections of the Camino can be just as tough on your legs as the climbs. The next village you pass through is Uterga, which has two small albergues, a bar and a Gothic church. However, most pilgrims walk on through the village, especially if they are going to take the 3-kilometer detour to see the church of Santa Maria de Unate. This beautiful 12th century Romanesque church is very similar to the church at Torres del Rio. Legend has it that this was the burial place for pilgrims who had been overcome with the physical demands of the Camino. You can still see a number of graves in the churchyard with the scallop shell motif. The octagonal shape of the church points to the connection with the Knights Templar of Jerusalem. Puente La Reina is one of the most picturesque sights on the Camino. Its name comes from Dona Mayor, who was the wife of Sancho III, who instructed that the bridge be built over the river Arga for the use of pilgrims on their way to Santiago. This Romanesque 11th century bridge is at the far end of the town, and it is there you will start your Camino the next day. However, you should try to spend some time exploring this charming town with its narrow streets filled with bars and restaurants. You might also be lucky and visit the town during their annual fiesta, especially if you have avoided the San Fermin fiesta in Pamplona by delaying your journey. The fiesta in Puente La Reina is a fantastic party for all ages, and it is well worth spending an extra day of your Camino enjoying everything this town has to offer. Puente La Reina is the crossroads of the Camino, where the two main routes from France join together. The town originated and exists for the Camino. Even today, the growth in recent years in the numbers of pilgrims on the Camino has greatly helped the prosperity of the town. As you cross the bridge, think of the multitude of pilgrims that have walked over these cobblestones during the last few hundred years. Following in their footsteps, you are truly walking in history.